This is episode 1799. Welcome to the Daily Meditation Podcast. I'm Mary Meckley, and here you are giving yourself permission to slow down and connect to the best part of who you are. In fact, that's what you really do when you sit down to meditate. You connect to the best part of who you are. You connect to how you're feeling in the moment, which may be influenced by how you were treated or what you experienced in the past. And we're following along this week in a powerful book that's sometimes difficult to read. It's called The Body Keeps the Score. It's by Bessel van der Kolk, who is an MD, and it's about mind, brain, and body in the healing of trauma. And the reason I mention that for myself, I find it a little difficult to read, is because it describes so many traumatic experiences of people from all walks of life and how this trauma remained harbored in their bodies, even many times without them realizing it. And with certain techniques, they were able to process their emotions. Now, in yesterday's episode, I shared with you how a lot of times going to a psychologist or a psychotherapy doesn't always heal people. Sometimes other modalities are needed. And so I wanted to share with you what this book talks about is a very successful modality. And I've been doing more research on this, and I thought I would share with you from the website of the EMDR Institute. EMDR stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing. It is a psychotherapy treatment that was originally designed to alleviate the distress associated with traumatic memories. I'll share with you what they say on their website regarding this important technique. More than 30 positive controlled outcome studies have been done on EMDR therapy. Some of those studies show that 84% to 90% of single trauma victims no longer have post-traumatic stress disorder after only 3 90-minute sessions. Another study funded by the HMO Kaiser Permanente found that 100% of the single trauma victims and 77% of multiple trauma victims no longer were diagnosed with PTSD after only 6 50-minute sessions. In another study, 77% of combat veterans were free of PTSD in 12 sessions. There has been so much research on EMDR therapy that it's now recognized as an effective form of treatment for trauma and other disturbing experiences by organizations such as the American Psychiatric Association, the World Health Organization, and the Department of Defense. Given the worldwide recognition as an effective treatment of trauma, you can easily see how EMDR therapy would be effective in treating the everyday memories that are the reason people have low self-esteem, feelings of powerlessness, and all the myriad problems that bring them in for therapy. There are over 100,000 clinicians throughout the world who use this therapy, and millions of people have been treated successfully for the past 25 years. Now, I want to share a little more than I normally do about a particular treatment because although I've never tried EMDR, I do plan on exploring it. I've been searching for a practitioner in my area. You may have explored it yourself, and I'd love to hear how it worked for you. You can email me at mary@sipandom.com. That's SIPANDOM, mary@sipandom.com. It seems like just about daily we're hearing of horrific events going on somewhere in the world. And I'm wondering so many times how these people overcome such traumatic events, such as the suicide bombers who blew up some churches and restaurants in Sri Lanka. And this is taking place in so many regions of the world, let alone the war-torn countries and masses of immigration pouring in where people are displaced from their homes and from the people they love. What was especially tragic for me about these bombings is that because it was a holiday and families and loved ones were together, there were so many people who had lost their whole families, especially children. And I know this takes place, again, all over the world in many forms. And I wonder, how do these people get over something like this? And I know it's possible, and people do. They go on to heal, to become stronger. And if you have a technique such as EMDR, where you're using eye movements during the session, you use several different techniques. And this process seems to speed up healing emotionally and physically, how people feel their trauma. And so I encourage you, if you are experiencing trauma or extreme pain or stress in your life, you might want to seek out modalities such as EMDR that could help you really work through your emotions. And you may even be here meditating to do just that. And meditation is one of the most researched and powerful techniques to heal your mind, your body, and your spirit. Of course, this takes place over time and with consistency. So if you're here showing up for the first time, learning to meditate, I honor you for what you're doing for yourself. And I also want to invite you, and it's the reason why I offer 2 weeks free access to my full meditation app. That's where I share half-hour guided meditations and a journal and a slow-down guide customized for the week's theme. Here on the podcast, I share little bits of inspiration and a technique you can do each day, whether you meditate or whether you do this technique throughout your day, which is a wonderful way to begin to bring the qualities of meditation into your day-to-day life. But I know many of you may not imagine yourself sitting for half an hour meditating. If you'd like to be guided through the process, you can try for 2 weeks free access to almost 1,800 meditations on the Sip and Om meditation app. So as you get ready to meditate today, consider where you may harbor physical pain in your body and name what that pain is. Name the location in your body and the emotion. For example, you might think, fear. I hold it in my stomach, and it happened when I was in a car accident. Become familiar with the trauma and pain you hold in your body so that you can begin to release it, to open up and become receptive to all your life experiences, becoming very present to how you feel in the moment. This reminds you that the things that happened, they're in the past, and here you are in the moment. So bring to mind as you meditate right now, what helps you to feel grounded in your life, regardless of the ups and downs? What consistently helps you to feel grounded, and focus on that. You are so worth slowing down for.